Yahoo News, 9th of December 2022, the RCMP suspended the contract with a spy firm connected to Communist China. The RCMP has suspended a contract for supplies with a business connected to Communist China. The RCMP has stopped a radio frequency, RF, equipment contract with Sinclair Technologies, Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino announced on Thursday. Hytera, a Chinese telecom business, purchased Norsat International, the parent company of Sinclair, in 2017. Through a Chinese government-affiliated investment fund, the Chinese government controls about 10% of Hytera. In a press conference on Thursday, Mendicino stated that the RCMP has paused the agreement with Sinclair and is investigating the procedure by which this contract was awarded and taking precautions to reduce any risks. CBC contacted Sinclair for a response. The corporation declined, claiming client confidentiality, according to a spokesman. The Chinese spy company and an RCMP spokeswoman also confirmed the cancellation announcement. According to Corporal Kim Chamberland's email, the RCMP confirms that the standing offer with Sinclair is halted until further notice, pending the government's announcement of a review of the standing offer and related processes. According to Chamberland, the system is not a security issue, but China's access to information about how the system operates makes it possible for China to find security flaws in the system. Although end-to-end encryption is used to protect RCMP radio communications, and radio frequency filtration equipment is installed, configured, and monitored by RCMP radio technicians and poses no security risks or restricts access to radio communications, the RCMP will review installed equipment in light of yesterday's announcement to see if further action is necessary. Earlier, Chamberlain told Radio Canada that the RF system's installation work had begun in Ontario and Saskatchewan. Mendicino dodged a question about whether the apparatus, intended to secure RCMP radio transmissions in part, will be taken down. Still, China has now tampered with the system's design. I specifically requested that the RCMP look into that in great detail. They have told me that the RCMP installed this equipment, so once the equipment was acquired, some level of control was exerted over it, according to Mendicino. To be absolutely certain that they are minimizing any potential residual dangers, they are going back and double-checking. Hytera was placed on a blacklist by the U.S. Federal Communications Commission, FCC, in 2021. A number of Chinese companies, according to the FCC, represent an intolerable risk to the national security of the United States or the security and safety of United States individuals. One of those companies is the one mentioned. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that the government would review the contract. Regarding the contracts, Trudeau stated that the government will have some genuine issues for the independent public service. According to him, the government would explore altering its procurement regulations so that contracts don't always have to be awarded to the lowest bidder and will also consider unfriendly nations' access to systems. Until now, Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC, informed Radio Canada that the bidding procedure did not consider security issues or Sinclair's ownership. The contract was worth $549,637 when it was awarded on October 6, 2021. Radio Canada received confirmation from sources with knowledge of the situation that the difference between Sinclair's bid and its rival, Quebec-based Comprid, was less than $60,000. CBC News has contacted the RCMP and Sinclair for comment. A strategy to counter China's growing influence on the global stage was included in the government's newly revealed Indo-Pacific strategy. The Chinese government has denounced the plan as being full of dishonest attacks and accusations against China. The announcement comes as tensions between China and Canada are increasing. The RCMP Sinclair contract, according to Foreign Affairs Minister Mélanie Joly, is incompatible with the Indo-Pacific strategy. I stated in the Indo-Pacific strategy that we must see our contracts and decisions from a national perspective. In a press conference held before the question period on Thursday, she said that this is the government's position moving forward. Joly said that the public service was to blame, just like Trudeau. According to Joly, the independent public service decided to sign the contract at the time and should have never been signed. If Chinese bribery was involved, there should also be a probe. According to Radio Canada on Thursday, a risk assessment from the Communications Security Establishment, CSE, Canada's electronic spy agency, was not requested by the federal government. The mandate of CSE enables the organization to provide company ownership reviews, risk assessments for supply chain integrity, and cybersecurity on demand. Conservative critic for morality and transparent government, Michael Barrett, urged the administration to take action to stop a situation like this from occurring again. Local Chinese workers with connections to mainland China are another significant hazard since they can be compromised and subjected to communist blackmail. There are many issues, but the fact that the government put the fox in charge of the henhouse needs to be addressed, according to Barrett, who spoke during a Thursday media scrum. We, as Canadians, must have faith that the government will choose wisely from the start and won't be coerced into accepting individuals who could jeopardize the country's security. Defense looking for contracts with Sinclair. In response to inquiries from CBC, a Department of National Defense (DND) official stated via email that the department is looking into Sinclair Technologies procurements and how the purchased equipment is being used. While the investigation is ongoing, the department has discovered one DND procurement contract given to Sinclair after Hytera acquired the business in 2017. According to the contract's web details, 12 antennas were to be installed at CFB Halifax and CFB Esquimalt in British Columbia, 2 naval stations. The spokesman acknowledged that they were aware of the issues surrounding Sinclair Technologies, which has been damaged. Along with colleagues in other government departments, we are looking into these purchases and how this technology is used. We will keep taking all required steps to protect the integrity of our infrastructure. But now that China has access to the system's source code, the secret is out.